The mayor of Mount Vernon gives the key to the city to the controversial radio and TV host Glenn Beck.
Supporters and protesters raised their voices tonight outside the big event. KOMO 4's Shomarl Stone is live from Mount Vernon with more on Beck's big day. Shomari?
Well, it's peaceful out here right now, but earlier it was anything but. At times it was rambunctious, at times it was peaceful. Some protesters are angry that Mayor Bud Norris gave Glenn Beck the honor, but hundreds of protesters also supported the decision, support Glenn Beck, and gave him a standing ovation. Mayor Bud Norris hands over the key to Mount Vernon native Glenn Beck, while hundreds give the Fox News commentator a standing ovation at McIntyre Hall.
Wow, was it weird to drive up to this building today. I drove up to the building, I'm like, what the heck is going on? What kind of hate monger is, oh my gosh, that's my name.
Close the gate on hate! Change the law!
The honor angers hundreds of protesters lined up on the sidewalk.
Glenn Beck engages in a lot of fear-mongering.
Police stand guard as some clash with Beck's supporters.
I think that's disgraceful.
Do you really have to hold it in his face? You have to hold it in his face.
He's like a turpentine.
It's not my fault you're obese.
Barbara Cole says there's nothing wrong with welcoming Beck, but
It's just not okay that he got the key to the city.
why not?
Because the mayor gives the key to the city is someone who brings honor to a place or someone who's done something good. The man's divisive.
They're furious about Beck's stance on immigration and the 9/11 victims. They hold signs that read, "Go back to your foxhole, Beck," "No Glenn Beck," and "Glenn Beck is a racist," based on comments he made on Fox News about President Barack Obama.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people or the white culture. I don't know what it is.
But not everyone out here is against Glenn Beck. In fact, there are hundreds that have pro-Glenn Beck signs. Now, they like him because they say he grew up in Mount Vernon, and they also like the fact that they say he's a good American.
And I think this is great that they're doing this for him. I mean, he's really come from nothing and brought himself up up through the ranks.
Some thank him for reigniting their passion for politics.
They're waking up from their sleep and saying, wait a minute, America's going a direction that our founding fathers never made for us.
Beck was honored to receive the Mount Vernon distinction and returned the respect to the mayor.
So because Bud gave me the key to Mount Vernon, Bud, I'd like to present you with the key to my house because you're going to need a place to stay.
Now, there was at least one arrest earlier today. No word on what it was for, but for the most part, all the protesters were peaceful. Live here in Mount Vernon, I'm Shomarl Stone, KOMO 4 News.
Thank you, Shomari. Well, before his rocky homecoming in Mount Vernon, Glenn Beck made his pitch to a crowd at Safeco Field.
You do not know what you're up against, but let me tell you something, neither do they.
Fans paid up to $500 a ticket to hear the commentator at the Take the Field with Glenn Beck event. One woman came all the way from Spokane.
We watch him all the time, been listening for a long time on the radio. Pretty much our whole family is in favor of his opinions and, you know, found a common voice.
Now, there was such a big turnout today, organizers opened another section of the stadium to make room for everyone. Well, if you'd like to add to the more than 100 comments about Glenn Beck's big day here in Western Washington, just log on to KOMOnews.com, find the story on our front page, and click on comment.